Good evening, my friends. Leftoids have been given a new code branch attacking Project 2025, and I don't think any of them even know what it's all about. So we will go through Project 2025, my application. So this is some nobody on Twitter. Trump is a racist and a white supremacist. Supremacist is spelled differently than that there, Skippy. If he is elected, black Americans will go back in time. Project 2025 calls for actions to undo the progress made to safeguard and enrich black and brown communities. It does nothing of the sort. So Project 2025 is not even really affiliated with Donald Trump at all. Agenda 47 is. But Project 2025 is building now for a conservative victory through policy, personnel, and training, i.e., finding the best candidates for a job in the government, i.e., meritocracy. So we'll go through mine here. So we'll go through, there's all sorts of stuff, contact information, social media, ethnicity. I'm Native American, of course, where you live, resume, references, and areas of expertise. I chose digital strategy and information technology because I have 26 years of IT experience, and I know how to do a cost-benefit analysis on a project. And for example, here's a bad one. So $7.5 billion in government cash, but only built 8 EV chargers in 2.5 years. That would be a bad ROI. So policy expertise, I would say drug control policy, legalize everything, firearms policy, get rid of the NFA altogether, and every subsequent gun control law after that. Perfect. Information technology, of course, and tax policy. We are taxed way the fuck too much. So, professions I'd be considered for, analyst, programmer, technologist, developer, engineer, etc. So it asks these philosophical questions. Political and philosophical approach. Select the option, you only hit an option, that describes your political philosophy. So fiscal conservative would be mine. A social liberal, also on the fringe, as far as drugs and guns go. Anyway, political and philosophical approach. Like Twitter, which cut 90% of its workforce, the U.S. government is probably the same way. Unnecessary. There's so much irresponsible spending. Any sane person would be able to cut to the bone. And I know how much I get taxed, and I don't get shit out of it. So Rush Limbaugh is the one person who has most influenced me in the development of my political philosophy, because he was on the air in St. Louis in 1992. And I was like, wow, this guy is spitting some truth. Name a book that has most significantly shaped your political philosophy. If you haven't read Road to Serfdom, that book will scare the shit out of you. So, by F.A. Hayek. So, the United States Republic was designed as a decentralized form of government based on the Constitution, but as Road to Serfdom lays out, it inevitably centralized, and the whole gigantic behemoth administrative state grew up around it. And it's well underway, and this book should serve as a warning. Luckily, the Chevron deference was struck down, and hopefully that monstrosity will be unwound, but it's going to take time. One living public policy figure whom you admire and why. The only president that delivered anything beneficial to me in my lifetime was Donald Trump. Donald Trump. I know first term Reagan was good, but I was too young to appreciate it then. So under Trump, there were no new wars. The tax cut actually benefited me for one time in my motherfucking life. A president's role impacted my life positively. Clinton didn't do dick, except, well, Clinton did okay, but he fucked up the housing market. He laid the seeds for the fucked up housing market under Bush. Bush gave us 9/11 and the stupid prisoner-like mentality you have to go through every time you go to the goddamn airport. I'm sorry, I need Jesus. And Trump was able to get some stuff done despite all the uniparty interference. So, one public policy issue I'm most passionate about, the First Amendment. First Amendment. You saw what COVID did. The, quote, expert class are complete idiots, and questioning their narratives was bannable on social media. Especially Twitter and Facebook. I don't know really who uses Facebook. There's also medical tyranny that continues to play out due to the COVID response, i.e. the vaccine mandates, thanks to Beijing Biden. And it turns out that we were right all along, and the lies still limp along. In the legacy media and the Supreme Court kind of backstabbed us there. We can't win everything, my friends. So I heard about Project 2025 on the War Room. Should the UN, and then ask you some specific yes/no questions. Do you agree with the following statement? The UN should have authority over citizens and public policy of sovereign nations? Fuck no. Fuck the UN. We need to get out of them. Stop funding them. Kick their asses out of the United States. The U.S. has the right to select immigrants based on the country of origin? Hell yes. The education industry should be open to increased competition? Hell yes. Life has a right to legal protection from conception to natural death. I don't have an opinion on that because, look, if you can live with yourself after aborting a child, hey, you do you, but I'd never do it. And, but I'd rather have, that happen than children being brought up in a life of misery without being loved by anybody or just abandoned into foster care or some other morass like that. Anyway, the permanent institutions of family, yes, and religion, meh. Formal religion is all bullshit, are foundational to the American freedom and common good. The family, yes, nuclear family, very foundational to American freedom and the common good. If you subscribe to the tenets of an organized religion without subscribing to a church, like the Catholic Church, which is really fucking corrupt, I agree. But again, I'm no fundy. I'm not a Lutheran. I'm not a Catholic. I was raised Catholic and quit that in about when I turned 16, so about then. Union membership should be an option for the employee. Fuck yeah. Fuck the unions. The legacy of a bygone era, they need to go away too. The federal government should guarantee universal basic income. Absolutely fucking not. Get out of here with that bullshit. The U.S. needs nationalized health care. No. Get the government completely out of health care. The U.S. should increase legal immigration. No. Stop all immigration for a while. Let's let this shit bake for a while, for fuck's sake, after we do the massive deportation. We should be proud of our American heritage and history, even as we acknowledge our flaws. Yes. Yes, of course. The gender wage gap, which doesn't exist, is the result of prejudice and discrimination. No. Go ask all the females in the logging industry about that. Let me know if you find one. The U.S. should scale back its strong military presence overseas. Yes. Fuck yes. We don't need 1,000 troops in Niger, in Africa, in West Africa. What the fuck are they doing there? Why? What's going on? In combating censorship by big tech, we must look to more than just the free market. Now, this is a curious one because I would say yes, because we need to get the government out of censoring this. That's a very poorly worded question, I would admit. The president should be able to advance his or her agenda throughout the bureaucracy without hindrance from unelected federal officials. Hell yes. And the federal government should recognize there are only two unchanging sexes, male and female, as a matter of policy. Duh, because that's just scientific reality. The U.S. should impose tariffs with the goal of bringing back manufacturing jobs, even if those tariffs result in higher consumer prices. Hell yes. Do that. Remove taxes on tips, remove income taxes on people, and just institute tariffs. You would make so many people's lives better. So that's pretty much it. I'm not doxing myself by revealing the rest, but yeah, that's hold on, let's go back, let's fact check. If elected, black Americans will go back in time. Show me anything in there that reflects that. It does not. Project 2025 calls for actions to undo the progress made to safeguard and enrich black and brown communities. Now, if you're a worthless black or brown person working in the federal government, adding absolutely no value, get the fuck out, okay? We don't need to be paying you with taxpayer money coming out of my pocket. So anyway, that's that. That's all we're going to do. No one's going to watch this. So if you like my content, hit subscribe, like button, notification bell, leave me a comment. I read all the comments of my friends, and pick up some non-perishable food, and God bless.